Hello, good evening from Bali, everyone. Good morning to you or some of you. Thank you so much for joining our webinar this time. My name is Lukman. I am currently the product manager with Travel Indonesia. And today I'm going to take you to explore and discover one of the islands currently being Indonesia hotlist destination, which is Sumba Island. So the island of Sumba is actually part of Nusa Tenggara province of Indonesia. Nusa Tenggara province is also a province that are part of Forest, Labuan Bajo, and Komodo National Parks. They are within the same province. Sumba Island divided into four regencies based on their geographic location. Then in Sumba, there are two main ethnic, which is Savu as well as Banisos. 20 to 30% of population in Sumba are practicing the animist or Merapu religion or belief. The remainder are Christian and Roman Catholic, and a small number of Muslims. So again, this is a good example on how diverse Indonesia is in terms of population and religion and ethnicity. Dry season in Sumba, similar with Bali and other parts of Indonesia, from May to November, and the rainy season is from December to April. Sumba is popular apart from being the home of Nihi Sumba, it's also popular for the beautiful landscape, the precious art of Nun Ikat hand-woven fabric we can find all over Sumba, the Sumba ponies, and the festival of Pasola. All will be explained later, and also the megalithic Merapu leaf. Here in this map, we have a lot of sites, destinations that generally people visit when they are in Sumba. I will talk about them one by one on the upcoming sites. So let's look further. First of all, let's see where is Sumba actually located. If we compare with if we see in a global map of Indonesia, so Sumba is actually underneath is the Forest Island. So you can see here that the size of Sumba are almost the size of Bali, while the population of Sumba itself it's only 15% of Bali populations, or equal to about 800,000 people. Then we will talk on how to get to Sumba. So to get to Sumba, currently there are two access, either from Bali or from Kupang. Kupang is the capital of East Nusa Tenggara Province, or we call it NTT. There are two airports in Sumba. One is located in Tambolaka, the West Sumba Regency. The airport code is TMC. This is also the main gate or entry for Nihi Sumba, Lelewatu Resort, or Sumba Nauta Resort, which are located in southwest of Sumba. And the other airport is located in Waingapu, eastern part of Sumba. The IATA code is WGP, or Umbu Mehang Kunda Airport. At the moment, there are only two airlines that fly the route from Bali to Tambolaka or Waingapu, and they are Nam Air and Wings Air. Flight to Tambolaka will be like an hour from Bali, while to Waingapu will be an hour and 20 minutes. Garuda Indonesia used to fly to Sumba, but currently they suspend their flights. We are still hoping that Garuda will reoperate this route and resume their flights, but there's no clarity at the moment, so we are waiting some updates. And we will definitely share with you once we get the information. Before we talk about destinations in Sumba, I think it would be good if we have a little bit understanding about what's unique to Sumba, what make this island special compared to other part of Indonesia. So number one that we see here is a Sumba traditional house, which called Uma, or house. Uma was built based on Marapu cosmology, and normally we'll have 3 levels, where the underneath is the place for animals. The central space is for the human, where the people will do the activity. The bedroom will be there, the kitchen will be there, and the roof is for the gods and the ancestral spirits. Often ancestral artifacts are also stored, as well as the food on this 3rd level. And then Sumba is also popular for Pasola festival. Uh, Pasola is a spear in local language. It's a mounted spear fighting competition between two villages, and normally run from February to March, and it's only happen in Western Sumba Regency. And then there is Merapu belief, which focus on creating the harmonies between humans and ancestral spirits. So it's really unique, even for me as Indonesian. Indonesia as a country recognize 5 official religions, which are Islam, Christian, Catholic, Buddhism, and Hinduism. However, Merapu belief is official and official in this Sumba Island. So that's why they have quite big follower. They have about 20 to 30% of Sumba population are still the follower of Merapu belief. Hence, there are also most of the villages that we are going to talk about later will have this rich culture and rich evidence from this belief from their ancestral. The first one, the first regency that we are going to talk is the East Sumba Regency. The capital of East Sumba is Waingapu, which is the largest town on the island. Waingapu also has an airport, which I mentioned earlier, called Umbu Mehangkunda or WGP. And about 30 minutes from the town, there is a seaport as well. So it's pretty advanced, and it's the largest town again in the island. But also East Sumba is actually the largest, about 70% of the area is of the island of Sumba is belong to East Sumba Regency. So what to see in East Sumba, there are a lot of beautiful villages as well as very interesting culture that we can find in each villages. Of course, there are beaches, there are also waterfalls, there are hills that really stunning and a great spot for photographer. You can see here on the map, there are a few different locations that we point out. We'll talk about each of these destinations, but also I want to remind you that this webinar is recorded and you can find out later more details about it. The first village that I'm going to introduce you is called Prailiu Village. Really easy to access because it's actually considered still part of the town of Waingapu. It was one of the capital of Lewa Canberra Kingdom. There are carved stones scattered in the village. And the interesting part of this is that during the daytime when we visit, you will be able to find a lot of these old lady will sit in front of their house and do this hand weaving to demonstrate to the visitor. In this village as well, of course, we can still see the residential of the royal family. They still have the king until now. Not that it has a political function, but people and the villagers still pay a lot of respect to the royal family. And then the location is really close to a central, and it's only about 10 minutes away from the airport of Waingapu. Next village is Rende Village, located about an hour, 20 minutes drive from Waingapu town. When people in Sumba talk about Rende Village, they are always associated with the slavery. It was because back in the time of the kingdom, this kingdom has a lot of slaves that work for them. Until now, we can still see some of historical things related with that. And this village nowadays, they don't have a king anymore because the last king, he didn't have any, the late king didn't have any heir. So the village or kingdom is now run by the cousin of the late kingdom, the late king. Okay, after we talk about the village, it's also good to have some relaxation on the beach. So let's see what East Sumba has to offer related with the beach. The first one is Walakiri Beach. This is the one of the most famous beach in East Sumba, very beautiful with white sandy beaches and great for sunset. But this beach is really popular also for the locals, so it could be like very crowded, especially during the weekend and in sunset time, of course. Um, but on this beach, people can have like light meals. There's a seafood restaurants. Of course, it's nothing as extravagant as Bali, but at least there are facilities available on this beach. The distance from the town is about 30 to 40 minutes drive. And then we do have Watu Parunu Beach. It's a white sand with clear water beach with coconut trees. A very like a once you are there, you'll get the tropical feelings. The challenge with this is that the drive from the town will be about 2 hours. But as the result, this beach is very secluded. The other beach, which is located just less than 10 minutes drive from Watu Parunu Beach, is Kalala Beach. It's a nice beach with also with white sandy beach and good for swim, snorkeling, fishing, and sometimes surfing, depends on the tide. Another beach that gaining more and more popularity is Puru Canberra Beach, located in the north of Waingapu, about 60 minutes drive. Nowadays, there are a few guest house and three-star accommodation in this beach. But I would say that in the future, it seems like this beach will develop beyond that. When during my last visit, I saw that some of the lands already purchased by big brands such Alila Hotel and Plataran. So we're hoping to see more development in the area, which will also help the local, and of course, we will give us also more options in terms of accommodation. It is Sumba. Next, we talk about waterfalls. The first one here on the left top is Waimarang Waterfalls, a secluded natural pond with waterfalls, very nice for swim. However, it's a bit slippery and lots of steps. This is not too far from Rende village that we mentioned earlier. So the drive from the town would be about 2 hours, more or less. And from the parking lot to the waterfall will be like about 20 minutes walk, and it's a bit slippery and there are a lot of steps, so it's require a certain fitness level to be there. But all is worth it with the beautiful and the quietness of this waterfall. The next waterfall is called Tangedu Waterfall. Um, I would say this is really a stunning property, but probably not for everybody. It's require a lot of effort to get into this waterfall, but for adventure or the right client, this will be a great destination to visit. It's also some people, Indonesian people, dub as a like Grand Canyon of Indonesia or Sumba. So this waterfall is about 45 kilometers from the city. And from the nearest village where we have to park the vehicle, we are required to walk about 2 kilometers. The third waterfalls that's still in East Sumba is a pictures like painting waterfalls, Kanabu Way waterfalls. This definitely for adventure type of clientele. This is located 130 kilometers from the town and also require at least 4 hours walking each way to get to this waterfall from the nearest village. Next, we talk about hills in Sumba. Hills in Sumba in East Sumba is very popular nowadays, and it's really beautiful, and it's a great spot to have a wide view of the area. The first one that I mentioned here is Tenau Hills. It's very close to an accommodation that we will see later on. About 30 minutes drive from the town, and from these hills we can see the valley and the river, rice fields. So it's very, very stunning, great, especially during the sunrise or sunset time. Then there is Persaudaraan Hills. Persaudaraan is brotherhood in Indonesian language. So Persaudaraan Hills is actually very, very close to the airport within less than 10 minutes drive. So it's relatively easy to get there. And from this hill, we can see the oceans and the mountains, rice fields and rural area. So it's a very interesting stop to add into the itinerary. The other one is Warinding Hills. I mentioned it the last because it's a easy to access these hills when we have a client that transferred from East Sumba to West or Central Sumba. This is just about 40 minutes drive from the town of Waingapu, and it's just off the main road to get to of the main road of Sumba. So Warning Hills, it's a good stop to break the drive. So we can have like a short stop to stretch the leg or to rest a little bit. Okay, we've been talking about what to see, what to do in East Sumba. Of course, we have to know on what type of accommodation that we could stay in the area. There are not many options indeed in East Sumba at the moment, but there are a few accommodation that we can point out here. Then we would like to introduce to you as an options. The first one is Morinda Villa and Resto. It's located about 20 to 30 minutes drive from Waingapu town, so a little bit outskirt. It has only 6 rooms, but it has and managed by a family, but it has a stunning view over the hills and the river. So, and there are a lot of activities that could be done for those who are staying in this property. When I was there, I did a sunrise trekking to some of the hills and then the kayaking on the river. So it's a great area to escape from a big town. The other property that located in town, and it's actually a beachfront property. It's called Padadita Beach Resort. However, the beach in Padadita is not really a swimmable beach. But the advantage of staying in Padadita is that it's within the town premises, so that the client can have, if they stay like 2, 3 nights, there is opportunity to get outside dinner of the hotel because it's pretty much close to the central of Waingapu. It has 65 rooms, 10 minutes away from the airport. Next, we move to Central Sumba. Central Sumba capital is Waibakul. Central Sumba is well known for Anakalang society and also the megalithic site which spread out all over the Regency. We're going to talk about some of them later on, but also there are a lot of beautiful waterfalls that are located in central Sumba. Of course, also a beach that we can introduce to you. Let's first talk about the village. The first one is Galubakul village. This is the village where the royal tombs of Anakalang King is located, and it is the largest megalithic tombs in Sumba. The location of this village is about 5 kilometers from the main town of Waibakul, the capital of central Sumba. So it's about 20 to 30 minutes drive. And then there is Pasunga village, which located right in the central of Waibakul. So it's really easy access to this village, just off the main road. But as a result, there are some of the traditional houses that has been adjusted and equipped with more modern facilities. However, they keep their ancient traditions as well as the tombs, of course. So it's still interesting to visit and effortless, basically. Next things to see in central Sumba is waterfalls. Lapopu waterfall is probably one of the prettiest waterfall in Sumba, and it's also a pretty easy access. We can drive to this national park of Manepro National Park, and then just need to walk about 5 minutes to reach the waterfalls. 5 minutes walk along the river to reach these waterfalls. And then there is Matayangu Waterfalls from which is located in the basically same area, just in higher elevation. So from Lapopu Waterfall, for those who has like adventure spirits, they can reach Matayangu with a trek about 1.5 to 2 hours. Matayangu is very stunning waterfalls. In Sumba language, Matayangu means stop here. Stop here mean because they believe that their ancestral spirits dwell in these waterfalls. Beach, Aili Beach, white sandy beach that located near the Manupeo Tanadaru National Park. It's almost 2 hours drive from Waibakul town. So it's typical in Sumba. There are a lot of beautiful beaches, beautiful waterfalls, but sometimes it's hard to get them. But as a reward, you could be the only person in that area. So you can have like a private feeling. We moved to West Sumba, and maybe you noticed that we do not mention any accommodation on where to stay in Central Sumba. It's because in Central Sumba, the level of accommodations that they have, they do not even have like in a 3-star level until now. So we include Central Sumba visits, but generally we can combine it with clients that are staying either in West Sumba or Southwest of Sumba. So let's talk about West Sumba, the capital called Waikabubak. Pasola Festival, which hold in February and March, generally happen in Lamboya and Wanokaka sub-district of West Sumba. A lot of things actually to see in West Sumba, and indeed probably West Sumba is the most popular regency for tourism at the moment for Sumba Island. Here what to see, there's a beautiful Kerewe Beach, Nihi Beach, there's Watu Bela Beach, and there's Praijing Village, Tarung Village, Waigali Village, Praigole Village, Waitabat Village. So let's take a look on things to see or to do in West Sumba. First thing is a Pricing Village, a megalithic village that located up the hill with picturesque view. It's very easy access. It's about less than 10 minutes drive from the town of Waikabubak. And from the top of the hill, we can have the great view over the village and also the rice field, of course, the hills. So it's really, really great destination to visit while in West Sumba. And not too far from Tarung and not too far from Praijing, there are Tarung and Waitaba village, where these two traditional villages are located side by side. So, and it's similar that they are located up in the hill, so they all have a great views over the rice field, valleys, and mountains or hills. And I need to mention that there are a lot of effort from the government or NGO that support this village. So now they have like um, sanitary system. So when you visit the village, you will see that might surprise that the traditional village that we see is relatively clean. The public toilet for visitors as well as for the villagers. So it's interesting things to see also. Next village are Waigali village and Pagoli village. Waigali village known for the andung or the skull tree dedicated to the war Marapu and was used as the altar where the headhunters once hung their trophies. While Pagoli village has this Watu Kajiwa stone, as you can see on the picture, this Watu Kajiwa becoming the iconic symbol of Sumba. These two villages are also the host of the Pasola ceremony, which happened during February and March. So not all the villages in West Sumba are doing the Pasola, so it's only certain villages, and these two are included. And these two villages are actually located about 40-45 minute drive from either Nihi Sumba or Lelewatu resort. Now let's talk about beach in Sumba. Here we have Caraway Beach and Watubela Beach. Um, these two beaches are located about 2 hours drive from Waingapu village. So again, you might not see other visitors on these two beaches, but it's all worth the effort to reach the area. And then there is Nihi Watu or Nihi Sumba Beach. Heaven for surfer, we say, but you can also swim actually in front of Nihi Sumba Beach. But however, the beach of Nihi is more popular for surfer as they have like exclusive slot that they only allocate 20 slot maximum per day for surfers. So we can guarantee that client will have a great surfing experiences where they are when they are staying there. Now let's see some options of accommodations in West Sumba. The first one is Sumba Nautil Resort, located in Lamboya sub-district. It's a small property. It's only have 7 cottages and located in front of the sea. So Sumba Nautil would be a good option for the client with limited budget that are not Nihi Sumba or Lelewatu Resort budget. This could be a great alternative option to stay where client can still do all of the visits in West Sumba Regency. The next resort is Lelewatu Resort Sumba. Lelewatu Resort, it's relatively new property, just started more or less at the beginning of this year. Lelewatu Resort is aiming to compete with Nihi Sumba. They have a personalized butler service, a spa, 2 restaurants, and a great infinity pool on the cliff overlooking the Indian Oceans and the cliffs. And also the interesting thing about the villas are its design in a very strong Sumba uh, architecture, as you can see from the picture, while it's equipped with a modern amenities. However, it's also important to mention that despite that they are located right in front of the sea, Lelewatu doesn't have an actual beach where client can go relax or swim. Next accommodation is Nihi Sumba, or previously Nihi Watu, located in 10 minutes drive from Lelewatu Resort. Nihi Sumba has a great contribution to help Sumba Island to get international recognition because they won a lot of awards as the best hotel in the world. So that's how people get interest about the island in general. So thank you to Nihi Sumba. Nihi Sumba is a really, really great property situated in a beautiful secluded bay. Currently, they have 32 villas. A lot of activities could be done here. I have mentioned earlier, like surfing, horse riding on the beach, spa safari. Spa safari is probably my personal favorite activity to do when staying in Nihi Sumba. With Spa Safari, the activity will be include like a morning trekking about 2 hours to reach Nihi Oka, another property where they have the spa and a swimming pool on the other side of the island. So it's 2 hours trek. When you arrive there in Nihi Oka, you have breakfast, and then you can have unlimited spa. And of course, with the lunch will be served in the Nihi Oka premises. So one interesting thing also about Nihi Sumba, they are very actively helping Sumba Nis people in the villages nearby by through their Sumba Foundation. They're providing with malaria clinic as well as helping the villagers with the freshwater system. Another alternative for super budget conscious traveler, it's located in the city, the town of Waikabubak. It's called Morika Inn. It's a standard level property. It has 20 rooms. However, it has decent facilities. It has AC, hot and cold water, which is quite nice. Next, we're going to Southwest Sumba. So Southwest Sumba is where Tambolaka Airport is located. Tambolaka Airport is the gate or entry point for Nihi Sumba Lelewatu or Sumba Nautil, which will be about 1 hour 45 minutes to 2 hours drive from the airport to those resorts. So let's see what things that Southwest Sumba has to offer. First one, Ratengaro Village and Beach. In general, traditional villages in Sumba are situated on the hill or in the mountain, but this Ratengaro is probably the only one village that located by the sea. So it makes it very unique, yet very, very picturesque. And the experience here are relatively similar. The concept of the house are the same. It's just that because of by the sea, then some of the villages here are doing a job as a fisherman, while the other villagers mainly as a farmer. So for me, Southwest Sumba probably hosts the best and most beautiful beaches in Sumba. This one here on the top is called Bawana Beach, a pristine beach with white soft sands. However, I don't think it's a swimmable beach. When it's high tide, it could be the beach could be covered by the water, so it's not that safe for swimming. Um, then there's Mandorak Beach, a small white sand beach which framed by rocky cliffs. It has a really calm water, so it's really good for swim. Wide, soft, sandy beach as well. Here we also generally on our program we serve the lunch box in this beach, so client can have some times to relax and enjoy this beach. Next, we talk about Waikuri Lake. Waikuri Lake is salty crystal water blue lagoon. It's located only less than 10 minutes drive from the previous beach, which is the Mandorak Beach. So it's easy to combine in a day trip. In Waikuri, there are toilet facilities. There are some local restaurant or room. They sell coffee or simple food. Um, Here, client definitely will enjoy the swimming, the snorkeling, and the water here is just as clear as this. This picture, exactly the same situation when I visited. It's just as clear as this. So I don't think they edited it. So it's really a beautiful and special place to visit. And then there is Tanjung Cave Mareha. As you can see on the picture, actually this cave is very close to the Bawana Beach, the picturesque beach earlier that we saw, but not swimmable. So it's on the right side of this guy that's standing here. That's where the Bawana Beach is situated. So it's kind of like a vantage point, really stunning, and also in general on our day trip, if we don't do lunch in Mandorak Beach, then lunch will be served on this point. So client can have lunch while enjoying the beautiful panorama. Next, let's talk about accommodation in Southwest Sumba. First one is Maringi Eco Resort, or more popular as Sumba Hospitality Foundation. Basically, it's a facilities of hospitality school, where this foundation helped the kids around Sumba to get an access to hospitality industry by providing them the platform to get introduced to hospitality, basically. So they accept booking from guests. They call donation instead of room rate. When I was staying there, I was greeted and assisted by the students upon my check-in. They walked me to my room, which is for the room, I would say it's equal to a 4-star level. It has a bamboo structure and then outside shower. Of course, it's with AC and everything. So it has a 4-star amenities. And the restaurant also pretty good. The food were good, and the waiter waitress that serve you will be the students. So but they will always be assisted by their teacher that kind of like watch them to see and correct them if they do something incorrectly. So it give us also, when we stay there, it will give like a nice feeling that you are supporting these local kids from Sumba, which mostly are unfortunate kids that come here and study for 1 year, and generally speaking, they only pay about $150 for a year, and that's already included the tuition fees and the dormitory, the 3 times meals a day. When I was there, the person that assists me, because they were in the last, they're almost in the graduation stage, and the guy that assisted me told me that he has been accepted in Bulgari Resort in Bali as a frontliner. So that's really, for me, that make me feel good. Also to know that there is this institution that help the kids to reach their dreams, basically, because otherwise they will never be on that stage if this platform never exists. Next, we have Mario Cafe and Hotel. Mario is located about 10 to 15 minutes drive from Sumba Hospitality Foundation. It has a nice beach, white sand as well, and relatively swimmable. And they also have a restaurant that open for outside visitors to come and enjoy lunch. It has 12 rooms. All rooms are facing the sea. I forgot to mention that clients that are staying in Sumba Hospitality Foundation or Maringi Eco Resort could also come and enjoy facilities on this property for free. Last property that I'm going to mention here is Hotel Ella. It's a first-class hotel, like a city hotel, located right in Tambolaka town, very close to the airport. So a good alternative for those who are in right budget as well. So let's see about what experiences or programs that EXO has in in Sumba in general. This first one is West Sumba Undiscovered. 4 days, 3 nights. Basically, it's a combination between 2 nights stay at Sumba Hotel in Southwest Sumba and 1 night stay at Mario Hotel and Cafe or Sumba Hospitality Foundation or Maringi Eco Resort. So the visits already included visit to Mandora Beach, Waingapu, villages, waterfalls. So it's relatively comprehensive for a 4 days, 3 nights program. And then we have a sojourn to Sumba. For those who have more time, it's a 8 days, 7 nights program started from East Sumba all the way to the West Sumba. So 2 nights at Morinda Resort, 3 nights Sumba Nautil, and then 2 nights at Sumba Hospitality. The program will be included, of course, all of the sites that most of the sites that we mentioned previously, waterfalls, villages, beaches in East Sumba, Central Sumba, Southwest Sumba, as well as the lake or beaches or villages in West Sumba. So it's 8 days, 7 nights, but a very comprehensive program to discover Sumba. Next, we have the Sumba Nature Delights program. Basically, it's a combination between a stay for 2 nights in Sumba Hospitality in West Sumba with Nihi Sumba, which is in the southwest of Sumba. A lot of activities has been included, visits as well, and in Nihi I already included as well the famous spa safari. Often in Sumba we have clients that are, let's say, staying in Nihi or Lelewatu or Sumba Nautil, and they have like they stay with, if clients stay for 5 nights, at some of this resort has a minimum stay, and they already like did some experiences with the hotel, and they come to us like, hey, what else I could do? So that's why we create these experiences, a full day trip in Sumba. So we have number one here is Discover West Sumba, which included the Tarung Village, White Tabar, Praijing Village, as well as Lapopu Waterfall. Next, we have Sumba's culture and nature, a combination between the visit to Pasunga Village, Waigali Village in central Sumba, Pasunga Village in central Sumba, Waigali Village and Praigoli Village in southwest Sumba, as well as Kerewe and Watu Bela beaches. That's the experiences that we have. Of course, we have a few other round trips that you can reach out to me if you would like to know more. But I would also like to introduce you a little bit about our EXO Foundation. I'm really happy that our EXO Foundation also supports Sumba by working with Sumba Visa. Currently in Sumba, there is no proper waste management. So this year, EXO Foundation has started to support plastic waste management through a small organization which called Sumba Bisa. And the project goal is basically to collect and process plastic, which will then be mixed with asphalt and used for the road construction, which really needed in Sumba. So the main company that involves on the project building of the roads in Sumba has confirmed its interest to use the plastic for asphalt. With the scope of the projects are set up the plastic waste collection network, build warehouse, buy a shredder to process the plastic waste, agree on a road to make the first plastic road in Sumba, and hire more staff and run the activity, which give more opportunity for Sumba people also to find a job and increase their income. So hopefully all of these will be a successful one and then will soon be widely implemented across the island. I think that's all for the presentation. Thank you so much for attending the webinar. If you guys have still any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is lukman@exotravel.com. Thank you so much and have a great day or have a nice evening.